Along with another installment from a major horror franchise, we've got a horror fantasy series on Apple TV+, a zombie-themed spin-off with a fan favorite returning, a threequel about Greek weddings, and another season of a popular animated space comedy. It's all coming up on this week's What to Watch.
There's something wrong with the school. Something doesn't feel right.
Praying for success first is the gothic horror movie The Nun II. This marks the 9th installment in the Conjuring universe, wow, and is a sequel to The Nun, which itself was a spin-off prequel of The Conjuring 2. What I'm saying is the universe keeps growing, and that's a good thing, and a great reason to see this one. Plus, it's worth noting that director Michael Chavez also helmed the 6th and 8th installments in the franchise, The Curse of La Llorona and The Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It, so he's no doubt finding his groove. Another reason is the fact that Sister Irene is back, once again played by Thaisa Farmiga, the sister of Vera Farmiga, who is already a staple in the Conjuring franchise. Sister Irene travels to France in 1956 to face off again with Volok, the demon nun. Demon nun, yeah, no thanks. And with a sequel, sometimes you don't have to look any further than the original for a good reason to watch, which, in this case, performed well at the box office, meaning the fans were into it, and boom, see you at the theater.
They told me not to go, but I didn't listen. She told me I had 3 wishes.
And premiering on Apple TV Plus is the horror fantasy series The Changeling. This show is based on the 2017 novel of the same name by Victor Laval, which won multiple awards and was considered one of the best novels of the year by Time magazine. And we'll consider that to be the first reason to tune in. The second reason is easy: Lakeith Stanfield. You loved him in Atlanta and movies like Get Out, Knives Out, and Judas and the Black Messiah, which earned him an Oscar nom. And here he is at the center of The Changeling, starring as a used book dealer whose wife vanishes, leading him on a crazy odyssey through a New York he didn't know existed. Thirdly, the show was created by Kelly Marcel, whose impressive resume includes writing films like Saving Mr. Banks and 50 Shades of Grey, along with creating the series Terra Nova. A nice mix of projects to prepare her for this intriguing series.
How did you come to be in France?
It's a bad decision.
Spinning off right into your viewing schedule next is The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. This marks the 5th spin-off and 6th overall series in the popular Walking Dead franchise, which is good enough to be the first reason to check this one out. It shares continuity with the series and takes place after the conclusion of the original Walking Dead, and perhaps most importantly for fans is that Norman Reedus is reprising his role as Daryl Dixon, an actor and character that quickly became fan favorites. We also know that Melissa McBride's Carol character will be involved in the show in some capacity. A third reason to jump back into this world is that The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon will be taking fans to a fresh location as it follows Daryl after he washes ashore in France and tries to figure out how he got there and how to get back. We hate it when that happens.
We're having a reunion. We're going to Greece.
Oh, yeah?
1, 2, 3, 4. And by we, I mean the whole family.
Walking down the aisle yet again this week is My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. Look no further than the previous 2 films for your first reason to check this one out. The first is certified fresh on the tomato meter, and the second, while rotten, did perform well at the box office, so why not give a third go-around? And Nia Vardalos, who wrote and starred in the first 2 installments, as well as this one, also directed this time too. What can't she do? For number 3, the story follows the Portokalos family on a trip to Greece for a family reunion. And speaking of which, that brings us to our third reason to see this threequel. It was actually filmed in Greece. That's right, after 1 and 2 were shot in places like Toronto and Chicago, this one goes all the way to Greece to really put the Greek in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
These are the voyages of the crew of the Starship Cerritos.
We're all such a good team. We finish each other's
Diophantine equations.
And finally, get ready to engage with Season 4 of Star Trek Lower Decks. The first 3 seasons of this animated comedy were all fresh on the tomato meter, with Seasons 2 and 3 coming in at 100%. So yeah, that's 100% the first reason to check this one out. Secondly, not only is this the first animated Star Trek project since Star Trek The Animated Series ended in 1974, but it's also the first Star Trek comedy. Both of those things are great for the world of Star Trek. The third reason to head down to the lower decks is that with the 5th season already greenlit as well, this is part of producer Alex Kurtzman's expanded Star Trek universe, along with series like Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Strange New Worlds, all shining examples of how many great stories there are to tell from the final frontier. Okay, we did it. 5 picks to help you keep busy as if life isn't busy enough already. Be sure to let us and your fellow viewers know in the comments what you did check out, whether it was on this list or not. Remember to check out RottenTomatoes.com for the latest updates on scores and reviews for everything mentioned, as well as the movie and TV world at large. That's all for today, Fresh Family. Until next week, stay fresh.